Fancy fail!
Come here. She knows. Come on. Gotta get dressed.
Once Lana was all depressed in her harness, we headed off to a place where people go to make themselves happy. Fashion Island. One thing that apparently makes rich people happy, water fountains, because they're everywhere.
That's scary.
Another thing that loves water at Fashion Island, the giant koi fish. They're huge. They could have eaten Lana. If fountains galore and giant fish aren't enough for you, how about a fancy car?
Fancy people don't walk down the stairs. Only escalators. Too fancy? So fancy.
This is the part of the video where all the fancy stops and the failing begins. I thought I'd make a nice dinner, but it did not turn out that way. First things first, you should get the dullest knife you possibly can, and then just kind of rub it on the vegetables. Rub it on there really good. And when that doesn't work, just sort of shift the veggie under the knife till it breaks. When rubbing and shifting didn't work, I just used my Hulk hands to tear it apart. Ta-da! And just like Halloween, you need to get out all the gooey, goopy, seed-infested insides. I mean, you could keep the seeds if you wanted to. I think you can eat them, but I wouldn't. What you should do is massage your spaghetti squash with olive oil, and if you want, some black pepper. And I did want to, obviously. Once they were all oiled up, I popped them in a 400-degree oven for about 30 minutes. At this point, it was all going fairly well, and then it happened. Oh, look at me. How naive. Little did I know those artichokes would be the biggest pain in the butt. Well, let's just get right to it. Use artichokes, a lemon, and some garlic. And you're going to need a bowl to wear as a hat. And then also some foil to wrap them up in and throw them in the oven. The one thing I got right was filling the bowl with water. The stem of the artichoke is actually edible, so if you want to, you can keep it. Just peel some of the outer skin off so it's not as tough, and peel some of the lower leaves off if you have to. Use the bowl that you so lovingly filled with water to keep the stems from turning brown, because nobody wants that. Then, while I made the cute little broccoli watch it all happen, I cut the heads off all the artichokes to expose their inner leaves. I don't know why I felt the need to tell you this, but artichokes are pokey, so cut the rest of the pokies off. You can use some scissors to do this. It's really easy, and don't forget to keep dunking them in the bowl of water or everything will turn brown and gross. This is where we just veered off a cliff into a burning inferno. I saw a video on YouTube about scooping the insides out, the fuzzy part. Yeah, she made it look really easy. It's not. So she said you could just scoop all of this stuff on the inside out with a spoon, and I've never done this before, and I learned for good reason why. It's very, very, very hard. Once you have been poked 1,000,000 times trying to get the inside out, you'll need to fill it with something. I chose to squeeze a lemon all over there, and garlic. You can never have too much garlic. The vampires will not be getting us tonight. I was starting to lose my sanity with this part, so instead of scooping the inside out, I just put all the fillings mushed in between the leaves. Instead of hurling them out the window like I wanted to at this point, I wrapped them in foil and put them in the oven, like a normal sane person would do. I thought, okay, maybe they'll take 30 minutes like a normal artichoke. I was wrong. So wrong. After the battle with the pokey, prickly artichoke, I needed a donut. And a nap. A long nap. But there was no time to rest because the spaghetti squash was done. Mmm, spaghetti squashy. And Sean didn't want my yummy spaghetti squash, so I also had to make normal pasta. I mean, that's fairly easy. You just drop it in the water. And then poke it a little, or a lot, whatever it takes. And then, like a veggie magician, you're going to make some spaghetti out of squash. And then the moment finally came. It was time to plate the food, and I never ever thought it would make it that far. The pasta part turned out great. I had a spinach marinara on mine, and Sean just had a regular marinara on his. But not wanting to be too healthy, I dumped some cheese on it. Cheesy pasta. And what I thought would be 30 minutes for the artichokes turned into an hour for artichokes that turned brown. Never again will I make artichokes this way. Ever. And the kitchen turned into a disaster zone. I don't know how this happened. How did such a fancy day end like this? How?
I do know how to make artichokes. I don't know what happened. I'm just gonna sleep here for maybe 5 days.